was off duty one day in this bar in Washington Heights, where cops didn't have to pay for their drinks. And a couple of guys came in to rob the place. I chased them into the street, shot 2 dead, got a 3rd one in the leg.
Why aren't you a cop no more?
You see, one shot, well, the bullet took a bad hop.
You're playing a character who just from the very first line is a guy that maybe he's a little hard to like. He doesn't care what people think about him.
No. He's a functioning alcoholic. At least he was, you know. And I think as successful a policeman as he was, which I think he was, he fortified himself with 4 or 5 whiskeys every morning before roll call, you know. And I can understand it. I got to know 2 or 3 policemen, and you know, they see a side of life that we can't even fantasize about, you know, on the streets. With Matt Scudder, my character, he's definitely been on the dark side too long, and of course you discover something did happen in his past that he had to get out, and so he's living with that for the rest of his life. But yet there's still the policeman inside him that wants to, you know, solve these particular gruesome crimes.
I guess I met Scott Frank, the director. He came and saw me in the Heiress on Broadway, and he was looking for someone a little bit unexpected, a little bit different to play this drug trafficker in his dark, noirish thriller. And you know, I read the script and was so intrigued by the complexity of the narrative and this sort of dark universe that it occupied, and also a role that I'd never had a chance to play before. And he actively wanted to see me do something different, and I was bang up for that. And so we worked on a very different look, you know, quite a physical transformation, dropped a lot of weight, and just really threw myself into a very different universe.
There's something very wonderful about the setting of the end of the 90s, and no one's really sure what's going to happen at the turn of the millennium.
Yeah, and the Twin Towers there, a couple of shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I know I don't. You may remember them. I certainly do. You know.
Yeah.
That 1999. It was like, and there were TV movies. I don't know if you remember, like based on airplanes that were suddenly going to fall out of the sky and computers suddenly breaking down. You know. Of course, it didn't happen. You know.
The theme of people being afraid of the wrong things is quite key in this film, and you know, looking at characters who we would ordinarily dismiss as purely evil and bad are kind of brought back into the you know, more moral sphere, and you know, ask some interesting questions of the audience about how we feel about these characters when bad things happen to bad people. How does that make us feel?
And as you say, it was an unknown factor. You know, what was going to happen? You know, suddenly the world was not the solid place that we thought it would be. You know, if one was to believe all the reports that were written, you know, everything would just be chaos. You know. And I think Matthew Scudder, in the midst of potential chaos, he's as hurt and injured a character as he is, there's still something very, very forthright and honourable and old school about him.
People are afraid of all the wrong things.
And once they're in the van, they're just body parts.
You dealt with situations like this?
Not like this.
I call son, won't you come?